In Ubisoft's continued war against Siege players, they're apparently rolling out a new rework to shield operators next season that is going to make shield operators completely useless. What's up, athletes? We've got some new things brewing here. In about 30 or so days, the next Siege season drops, and this season is apparently going to kill every single shield operator that isn't Clash. Now, I'm not sure if this is 100% confirmed yet, but shield operators are going to be unable to hip fire while using their shields, and their melee attacks will basically just be like Nomad's air jab, just knocking you back, but not downing or killing you. This is just a huge problem and does not need to be implemented. Monty's shield is already somewhat useless offensively if he goes in alone. If it's deployed, you can't use your pistol with it because it's covering your front and sides. Being able to hipfire with him was a strength to that character. If this update is true, there is virtually no reason to not have his shield always deployed if you can't hipfire. Blitz is in a similar fashion, and his operator video is going to look really stupid soon with him just headshotting people from the hip. But setting that aside, something that made Blitz useful was being able to melee enemies with his shield after he blinded them, downing them. This was basically a stealthy shield op. Not to mention, his ability to just sprint into rooms while staying in cover behind the shield was great for him getting into a room and setting up a position and still being able to fire from the hip while using his shield as cover. With this change, he's practically useless. Any op with flashbangs or even Ying will just completely overshadow him. His pistol is not good enough for it to be his only weapon, especially if he can't even hipfire with it and get melee kills with his shield. Fuze is the only op that this doesn't really affect. That's just because his shield isn't his ability, it's just a thing he can use. Fuze's shield is already kind of rarely used by most of the Siege players anyway, so I just can't imagine with this rework going in that it would ever get used again. I just don't understand why they're making these changes. Shield ops minus Clash are already kind of underpowered. Their guns aren't that great, their abilities come from being able to use the pistol and shield in tandem. That's what made them useful. I don't use shield ops all that much because they require a different skill set to play properly. I mean, hipfiring wasn't all that great to begin with, we don't need to remove it. Especially since a lot of shield ops, especially Monty, just get killed by these stupid glitches and latency spikes that happen all the time, with players just somehow being able to melee them through the shield by hitting a very, very, very tiny pixel of his exposed foot. I don't even know who's asking for these changes. My best guess is once again the Pro League just wanting a problem removed instead of learning how to play around it. Oh well. If this is true and goes in, well, you can say goodbye to these players.